welcome to Criterion Watch. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody. I'm here with...
Paulie Presenza, known as the Moo Cow. Moo.
All right. So we're going to talk about The Princess Bride.
Yay.
This movie right here on Criterion. This is my pick because it's basically one of my favorite movies of all time. I've loved this movie ever since my parents brought it home, and we had it on like beta back in the day. That was a while ago. We had it on beta. Like I was telling him, there's a scene where some trumpets are blowing, and every single time I always remember it as that's where the tracking would mess up on our Betamax, and I would see it like that. So that's just, it's always a fun memory to have. It's that does that, and every time I watch Terminator 2, when he jumps off the on the motorcycle, he jumps off to grab the kid and everything.
Right.
It always messes up on that too. Always got mad because I'm like, those are the best. Like, those are two great scenes and stuff. So
Next, you're going to say you had 8-track tapes.
No, I don't think I ever did actually. No, we were cassette tape people though, for sure. We never had Laserdisc either.
Yeah.
Which I believe Princess Bride might have been on Laserdisc back in the day.
Probably. This was 1988, you say, right?
I think it was 88.
Yeah.
It's about 88.
Okay.
So that was about the time I was about 6 years old when this came out. Then
College.
Yeah. So I
see. I wasn't. In college, I was into a lot more darker stuff back then because I saw this when it came out. I saw it in the theater, and my initial reaction was that it was okay. It was a bit of fluff, and I was kind of like eh. And then in the years that I've seen it again a few times, I was like, okay, I get where this is going, and I've come to a better understanding and a better liking of it. I still don't know that it's not one of my favorite films, unlike yourself, and it's not quite made it into my collection, but I do have a much better opinion of the movie each time I see it.
And you know what? I think once again that goes to where we were, in life or whatever. Like you said, you were in college. This may not have been like a movie that college kids would normally watch and everything like that. And then I was in like I was like 6 when this came out, so probably 7 or 8 when I first watched it.
Right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, this was like the perfect movie for like a 7 or 8 year old kid to watch because like they have no idea. It's all fantasy, but it's PG. You know,
and yet at the same time, William Goldman writes it in such a way that adults can actually be entertained by it too. So
exactly,
and it's not really presented as a kid's story anyway. I mean, that's the veneer, that's the vehicle to tell the story, but that's not what the story is about.
Well, actually, technically, this from what I remember hearing in commentaries and in books by William Goldman. I'm a huge William Goldman fan, not just because of this movie, but Butch Cassidy. He's done Misery. He's done Magic. He's done tons of great
like
scripts. Magic. Yeah, Magic is a great one. And just a lot of amazing work. Bridge on the River Kwai.
Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh my goodness. Oh wait, no. A Bridge Too Far. He did that.
Oh, he did A Bridge Too Far.
A Bridge Too Far. I don't think he did Bridge on the River Kwai. But I knew he did a bridge movie, like bridge war movie. But what
Bridge Wars.
Lots of different great movies. But anyway, he talked about how when he was a kid, or not a kid, when he was when he had kids, he had 2 daughters, right? And he asked them, what would you like me to read, or what would you like me to what kind of story would you like me to tell you? And one of them was like, I would like you to tell me a story about a princess. And the other one was like, I want a bride. And so you kind of combined the two together.
Princess Buttercup, the bride.
Yes, exactly. And I think that is just a wonderful thing, that this came out of pleasing his children first before he did anything. He just created this storyline. But if you read the book, I believe the book is a lot different. I believe the book is a lot different. So, I guess that all depends on what you're,
Well, I guess they didn't have the wraparound in the book with Fred Savage's character and Peter Falk, I would think.
No. I mean, because the idea is he's reading the book that this actual book is taking place of, because this book is supposed to be written not by William Goldman, but S. Morgenstern,
Right.
who is mentioned in the thing.
And I have to say, that is one of the better parts of the film that I do like, is the wraparound, because it's not just the beginning and the end. It pokes in quite a lot, actually, and yet it's different every time, and it helps move the story along, and you see how the kid gets more and more and more and more interested into the story, in spite of the fact that he was just not interested at all to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, he hated, like, in the beginning, he hated the kissing.
Kissing book.
And he hated, he got so invested in it. He didn't want, like, Princess Buttercup to die,
Right.
or to,
He started off being too cool for school, and then as it's going on, he's like, but wait, you have to keep going.
Yeah, oh my God, I don't, he had his grandpa read it the whole,
Right.
and you can kind of see each time, like, they're eating sandwiches at one point, so they had actually maybe stopped and got sandwich, like I would have loved to have seen the mom come in. There was not enough of the mom. The mom was there just like in the beginning, in the opening, but never seen again.
Peter Falk was really, really good. That was a very wise choice, and they could have gotten a lot of different people to play that role, but I thought he did a great job.
Peter Falk, was amazing. I loved him. I absolutely loved almost every character in this movie. I mean, there was not one character that was not a character that, like, you could, that was any, like, everybody was fun.
Right. I mean, had this been written in any kind of way differently, these characters could have been caricatures. Mm-hmm. But they weren't, mainly because of the dialogue. The dialogue really, really sort of freshened the characters up, especially for a character like, say, Andre the Giant's character, who says a lot of cool stuff and stuff that you wouldn't quite expect him to say. And he makes observations that you wouldn't think somebody who was just big and brawny and kind of dumb would be saying, and that just makes for a richer character and a more interesting experience.
Oh yeah, I loved his rhyming.
Right.
Everybody always does that. Everybody want to beat up, right? Like, everybody does that. What was the line I was telling you that my cousin liked? My cousin always has a Andre the Giant line of, or no, it wasn't Andre the Giant, but it was him of sleep well and dream of large women.
Dream of large women.
Yeah, which is just, I mean, there's so many good quotes in this movie. I mean, it's so well written. Characters are so well developed. Rob Reiner had a great job of, like, like, even the location itself is its own, like, character.
It's a little saccharine. That's one of my issues I have typically with Rob Reiner movies, which is why I don't usually, he's not really on my list of favorite directors, but, in this case, it's kind of appropriate for the story, and
What's saccharine?
A little sweet, a little too sweet.
I like that. Misery is not sweet.
No.
That was him trying to just, let's go dark, But no, Rob Reiner is generally, but I like that, This is Spinal Tap. I mean, he did a lot of amazing movies, but this is, I swear, Princess Bride is probably by far one of my favorite movies. So
Christopher Guest in there, whom I always love.
Yeah, and it's funny because, like, rewatching it, because we just rewatched it to be able to do this review, and I've seen it a million times, but Christopher Guest, like, I don't know, he was good, but his character just, I felt like there should have been more of Christopher Guest. Like, I feel like there wasn't enough to really, I mean, I guess if they couldn't, it would be a long movie.
That was another thing. I mean, I get the idea where one of the bad guys is cowardly, but they made both of them cowardly, and that, I don't know, that kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah, Prince Humperdinck.
I think had one of them been cowardly and the other one actually made it so that you were concerned for their actual,
all
feelings.
All the bad guys were cowardly.
Pretty much.
Because even the guy that had the key, once he got threatened, he was like, "What, with this key?" Right? So they were all cowardly. I think that was the point.
Except for the Rouse.
The what?
The Rouse.
Oh, the ROUSs.
Right.
Well, they tried.
They tried.
They tried to kill.
Well, one tried. I mean, you saw several.
You saw at least two.
Right.
And then the other one, I don't know. Like, my idea is maybe that he killed the other one too, coming out, because you just never see anymore, you know?
Or
But
maybe he went down in the quicksand, the lightning sand.
no. Well, I'm pretty sure he knows what the lightning sand looks like by now. They all live there,
Yeah, I
you
know.
know?
But you felt bad when the Rouse was killed.
I always did as a little kid, and even to now. I don't like the sound he makes when he gets killed.
And you're right. There's a certain level of Jim Henson-y sort of thing going on in there.
And there's a little bit of like human-y,
Muppetish.
like human kind of like, because it's probably a person inside
right.
a
There's
costume.
a guy in the suit there.
Right, so it's got a little bit of a character, and so when he makes the noise of like, "Arr, arr," you know,
Right.
you feel bad. You know, it's like a dog getting.
I
hurt.
like when he's trying to bite him and he's grabbing by the mouth and his tongue is coming out. Blah, 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 blah.
Like wiggling
It's
out like
funny,
that.
yeah.
Oh
so,
my goodness!
so that was good. They made that into a character too, and
I know.
that was
like,
cool.
yeah.
I like that. I wasn't too impressed with the weird machine because it didn't seem like it had any basis in reality whatsoever.
It's a what, suction machine or something supposed to suck life out of you?
I suppose.
I mean, well,
Powered by water.
You were asking about it because you said what is happening?
Yeah. I mean, it's in fairy tales. I guess they sort of scrub around those details, and kids just kind of buy it.
Yeah, it's just like it. What is it? Like it just shakes the guy basically. Like that's all it looked like it was doing, is like shaking him the whole time.
And it's funny because he turns it up to 50. The guy's like, "Not 50," and then I kept thinking of Spinal Tap, where he's like, it's turning it up to 11 instead of 10.
That's probably where a little bit
Yeah,
of where that
could
came
be,
from.
yeah,
That's funny. I never picked that up. Well, great. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like not 50, and then he died. Well, sort of died. Kind of
Mostly
died.
Yeah.
And then slightly alive. And Billy Crystal was able to bring him back. And Billy Crystal and Carol Kane, just wonderful.
Yeah.
Everybody in this movie, like I could go through every character in this thing, every actor, Wesley or Buttercup or oh my goodness, Buttercup.
Well, my goodness, Robin Wright was luminous. I think that was her first movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, from what I've understood, from what happened was, and I could be wrong, but this is remembering like William Goldman's book, and also remember commentaries and stuff like that. Rob Reiner was looking for basically what was described as the most beautiful woman in the world, right? And so they were looking at stars first, right? Because that's what you do, as a big time movie. That's what like Norman Lear, the producer, probably wanted was a
Right.
big star, and they're looking at nobody fit that role. And then in comes Robin Wright, who had never acted before or whatever. It was just auditioning.
Dead
And
gorgeous.
she just blew them away.
And yet, not like in a weird modelly kind of way, just like a natural girl next door kind of way, which is why it works.
Yeah. Because
Totally
she's
works.
supposed to look like the most beautiful woman on the planet, who could also be just a normal person that you would
So
common or
she would have been 22 back then, because she has a birthday that's only a couple of days different than mine. So we're contemporaries.
yeah,
like
she
to
was
say.
young and
Yeah,
she was beautiful.
she was young.
and-
And honestly, when I saw the movie first, that's really what held my attention. Was just like, oh my goodness, she's just unbelievably gorgeous.
Now let's talk about Criterion's, like the Criterion look and the everything. I've seen this movie a million times, but when I got the Criterion version, I played it on my big screen TV that's in my house, and oh my God, my parents were impressed, and that took a lot because they've seen this movie a million times too, and they were like, wow, this is the most beautiful I've ever seen it. I mean, the things popped out. I don't know if it's this TV, but there's a little bit more grain than
Yeah,
I'm
I
used
noticed
to.
that too. I pointed that
I
out.
don't think it looks like that on every TV. So maybe I need to fix the Blu-ray player to
Well,
the right setting. or
Let me
something.
ask you this: has this come out in 4K?
This is a 4K scan, I believe.
Okay,
but,
well,
of
maybe that
the
has something
thing.
to do with it.
But it's not on 4K yet.
Because I'd be curious to see at 4K if that kind of grain is still in there.
Probably, like, a lot of times companies like to leave the grain in there because that's part of the the look of the film. That's what it had. From the
Well,
very
I guess
beginning.
so. I mean, a lot of companies also like to remove that and restore it and make things clearer too. So
Yeah.
I guess it depends on who's doing what.
Exactly.
I mean, it didn't bother me other than the fact that I noticed it, in which case that made it just a little bit different than most 4K.
Then after a
restorations I've
while, you
seen.
probably forgot about it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
once you think it for a
I
second.
mean, the visuals still looked good. I
Oh,
mean,
it's
don't get
beautiful.
me wrong, it still looks good.
My favorite scenes, honestly, that looked visually beautiful to me was the beginning with the countryside
Right,
and
right.
everything. But
Sort
then
of Irish countryside.
Irish, I think it was filmed in like Ireland and other
I
places.
think so.
And the other one that was when they were on the seas, and you
Right.
could see the other ship and then the sea itself and everything at night just popped.
And the screaming eels that you thought were sharks.
They look like little sharks. I guess they're shrieking eels, but we were saying like eels don't get that big. It doesn't. I don't think so. Those are just really big, like puppet eels or
And
something.
there's really kind of no reason for them to scream. It's sort of a big disadvantage. So, it's kind of a weird situation, but it's okay. It's fairy tale. You
Well, it's
just
shrieking eels. Is that supposed to be different than regular eels?
yeah, regular eels don't do that.
Yeah. So I think it's the idea of this fictional type of creature that's
Right.
out in the middle of the water, the shrieking eels that come and
But
attack you.
It's kind of a dumb thing to shriek at something before you go and attack it, so that you can let it know that it's coming, as opposed to just killing it without making a sound, so you never hear it. But
Maybe some animals can't help it.
no, I just think it makes it more dramatic, and that's why they put that in there.
Right. It makes it scarier if
Right,
you
it
hear
makes
the
it,
sound.
for a kid, it makes it scarier.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. For you, it probably adds it because you saw it as a kid. For me, I'm sitting there going like, "What the hell they do that? Oh, that's just stupid." So I was annoyed when I first saw it. That was one of the things that
Understandably.
annoyed me. So
But yeah, now seeing it as an adult again, like even older, so you're saying you have more appreciation of it now than you did when you were
yeah,
younger?
I would think so. More than definitely more than when I first saw it. That's for sure. And seeing it in Blu-ray was good. That was really really nice, and everything looked really nice, other than the occasional grain. But yeah, it was good, and I'm glad I checked it out. It's very cool. You were saying that as far as the Criterion version goes, that it didn't seem like it had a whole lot of different extras. It just kept the same extras that were on the
Well, no,
DVD.
they kept the commentary, but a few of the other extras, they've added a couple more featurettes and
Okay.
different things like that. A couple more, but then they kept a couple of the other ones too. And I think, if I'm correct, you could probably get another Blu-ray edition that has a couple different features that aren't on this particular
okay.
one too. So once again, it goes back to us talking before on, I don't know if it's Blu-ray Hunter or whatever, that sometimes we get a DVD or a Blu-ray that has other features that the
Right.
other one might not have, that you want to keep. You might want to keep both.
Right, and especially if you're a big fan of the film, you want to keep all that extra stuff because you want all that background.
Yeah. So you gotta be sometimes careful because you don't want to lose something that
Right.
One of my favorite things is Ed Wood had a special feature that they got rid of later. They got rid of the feature because it was causing too much like drama, but I got it, and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool.
Too much drama in an Ed Wood movie.
As a Ed Wood feature or whatever, Ed Wood featurette. But yeah, so anyway, I just thought that was really cool. I love Criterion and how and they really do meticulously take care of their their films.
Right, right.
They want to restore them and make them look as good as possible. And like I said, the only thing that I noticed really was like the grain was there, but some people like that. I know a lot of people who say the grain is like one of the best things, because it gives that feeling of when you used to watch it younger, and everything. It's like it's what was, there originally.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean,
And I really like the fact that it's such fertile ground for character actors. I mean, Wallace Shaw was really really good. It was a little bittersweet to see Andre the Giant because of course he's passed away, and
Passed away like
you know,
right after
I
this.
know,
think
and it
this
was, you know, he did such a good job. He really did.
Yeah, but at least he got to play, and I'm pretty sure he got to watch it, you know, and everything.
And you know, Mandy Patinkin, this is like probably his best role ever.
He
You
did,
know?
and most quotable line.
Chris,
Hello.
Chris Sarandon was good. He's always good, but he was very good in this as well.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Prepare to die.
Stop
Right.
saying that.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, see, so many great lines.
Right.
Everybody, I even quoted on Facebook today while I was watching it. And people are like, I love that movie, you know, or
Right.
one of my favorite movies.
So apart from the acting, I would say that the dialogue and the writing was really good, and it makes the movie.
Yeah, I think if it weren't for the dialogue and the writing and the directing, like the direction that it took, and the actors, pretty much everything was top notch in this movie. You said the music was done by
Mark Knopfler,
and he's known for
Dire Straits.
There you go. And so that was an interesting thing. He also did one of your favorite movies.
Oh, Local Hero.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite movie of all time.
So, you know, there you go. Like, there's some great music, great storyline, especially with the kid, Fred Savage's character, just getting invested in the book. And just, if you have not seen this movie, I mean, I don't think we've really spoiled too much or whatever, which is good. We finally did a review where we didn't really
Right, we
spoil
didn't really talk
things.
about the plot, but that's all right.
Well,
it's a fairy tale.
we don't need to. If
Basic
you're
fairy tale.
watching this, you've probably seen it.
Right.
You know, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it, because we're telling you, this is like one of our, like when we do Criterion Watch, we're watching some of our favorite movies. We're not going to be reviewing like movies we don't like. You know, even if they are part of Criterion, I don't want to do that. You know, and now he may pick something and I may not be as into it as he will, but most likely we pick movies that it's going to be a good movie.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I mean, Criterion hasn't really made that many bad movies, you know, in my opinion,
No.
or put out that many.
No, they take the effort to restore movies that are worth it, and you know, I mean, I don't know that this is a movie that's going to, you know, roll back the frontiers of film, but it's definitely a emotional favorite of a lot of different people. So, and people really love the film. So, why not give it the Criterion treatment?
Yeah, I don't even know why. I think it's because it's one of the movies I've watched over and over. I can watch this movie. You know, this is like my Star Wars. Like a lot of people say, like Star Wars is the movie they can watch, and like sickness and in health and all this other stuff. This is the movie that I watched whenever I was sick, or whenever I wasn't, or whenever I just felt like it. You know, and not many movies did that really for me back then. You know, there's a few that I could always watch as a kid, and this was one of them. I think Ghostbusters may have been another one, and you know, I don't know, maybe Ghostbusters and this were probably tied.
Right. So you definitely
Karate
have
Kid.
an emotional investment
Yeah,
in this film.
and so this is a movie that I think a lot of probably people my age or so grew up on and everything. And if you didn't grow up on it and you see it later in life, you could still get into it. I mean, you're just
Sure.
probably not going to have the same, you know, it's not going to have the same effect. But my parents loved it. My family, my whole family, like, quotes this movie and loves it. I mean, it's just one of those movies that I just hope one day just never gets remade.
Well, and I think this is a good movie to share with kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd say it's a good family movie because even if they don't get some of the adult, you know, dialogue,
Which I didn't.
you know, it's still enjoyable for them, and it's enjoyable enough for older folks that they can, you know, they can get it too and kind of wink and enjoy it.
I remember my parents would laugh at something when I was a kid in this movie, and I didn't get it, but I would laugh, you know, because I just wanted to be part of it,
Right.
I guess. And then years later, I'm like, that's funny, you know, like I get it and everything. So there's a lot of adult humor that's in, but not like adult humor, you know, like nothing
Right.
too raunchy or anything like that. I mean, this is, if
It's very
anything,
mild.
This is very safe for kids.
Even the violence is what there is pretty mild.
It's SFK, safe for kids.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And so if you have kids and you kind of want to show them something that they'll probably enjoy, you know, as far as, you know, something goofy and silly and just, you know, fun movie. This is it. Oh, Spaceballs is another one I've always watched. I could always watch over and over again. I don't know why. And it's Star Wars like, you know, it's Star Wars parody. But I never got into Star Wars when I was a kid, but I love Spaceballs. And Princess Bride, Ghostbusters, Spaceballs, Karate Kid, those were my movies as kids that I would watch over and over again. And so, if you know, we definitely recommend this movie.
Sure.
For sure. If I were you and you're looking for something to get, definitely pick up the Criterion version of this.
And that's like the storybook version.
Yes, it's got a storybook in there. You can see that. It's got pictures. Yeah, a little bit of like drawings.
And it's only
stuff.
Criterion who does that, right?
I think so. Like they're the only ones who put this one.
I like the artwork. The artwork's really good.
And it's also got the story of how it all happened with William Goldman. So he talks about the princess and the bride and everything, and then talks about how he got involved in the thing. So it's a really great read. I think it's from the excerpt from Which Lie Did I Tell, which is his book on writing for Hollywood and everything. And Princess Bride was one of the many great stories in that book. I also recommend that. I recommend anything William Goldman. Honestly, I don't think William Goldman has ever written anything bad. You know, like I don't. Yeah, even like Stepford Wives, which he wrote, was great.
Bad movie though.
Yeah, he did. You know, he did as great a job as he could with that.
Yeah.
Was it what's the other one? Memoirs of an Invisible Man, which I don't know how much of it's him and how much of it's John Carpenter, you know, who took over for that. But originally that was Ivan Reitman who directed that.
Yeah, I think that one bombed. I actually never saw
Who
it.
was going to direct it. Yeah, that one bombed. I saw it in the theater, actually, which is weird. So I'm one of the ones who tried to keep the thing alive. But I remember being bored by it. And when you're bored by a...
Cardinal sin of movie making.
when you're bored as a kid by a Invisible Man movie, you know, and it was all because of Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not an Invisible Man. Like, that's not who I cast for an Invisible Man movie,
No.
you know. But...
I know he's kind of invisible now.
That's his fault. You know, so there you go.
Okay.
I think that was our good review.
All right.
So check it out. Next month, I have no idea what you're gonna do, but
I'll come up with something.
you'll come up with something. I don't even think you know what you're gonna do yet.
Not yet.
But he's got a few movies in his library that he wants his arsenal to show me and everything.
Someday I'm going to get Local Hero, and someday it'll be released. Criterion should be doing it. It's the favorite movie of a lot of people, and it's not even been released on Blu-ray yet, so it's one of those things.
Maybe a Criterion will watch this and go, that's a good idea.
That would be great.
Please put that out there.
Bill Forsyth is the man.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and let us know what you guys think. Give us a thumbs up, and or if you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down and tell us why. You know, we're okay with that. Just let us know why you did not enjoy this critique of Princess Bride. Did you disagree? Did you agree? Whatever. We'd love some feedback.
Sure.
Because we need that, you know, to make sure that this continues to grow. So, thank you guys for checking this out, and see you later. Bye.